So for the last few months, Atlus, the creators of the Persona series, have been doing that really fun thing where they make announcement trailers for announcement trailers, aka they give us a single crumb of info and then they run off giggling into the shadows for months. It's not a fun time. But hey, they finally dropped some actual trailers with substance, with the official showcases of Persona 5 The Royle and Persona 5 Scramble, The Phantom Strikers, which will be released in Japan later this year and in the West sometime in 2020. So, point blank, what the f are these? What's going on? Why should you care? How much is this gonna hurt your wallet? And yada yada yada. So allow me to cover everything you need to know about these new Persona titles so there's no confusion and you know what's up. Let's go! So I'm gonna start with the big one, which is Persona 5 The Royle, coming to PlayStation 4. So this title is a total re-release of the original Persona 5 with an excessive amount of added content and changes. My lovely boy, DrCullenPHD, summarized basically everything that will be added, which includes new explorable locations, new portraits, a new opening, new confidants, new party members / characters, a new dungeon / dungeons, we're not sure yet, new events, 3 extra months added to the in-game time, improved UI somehow, numerous quality of life improvements, reworked bosses and dungeons, combat improvements, and last but not least, a reworked story. Now I'm sure we will be getting more detailed info on everything in the near future, but all of this is stuff to be excited about if you enjoyed the original Persona 5. But if you've only gotten into Persona recently, you should know that Persona 5 The Royle's existence is not that surprising since Atlus has a long history of doing this with their more popular installments. Now, the scope of these enhanced or changed re-releases has always kind of varied from localization enhancements or ports with huge alterations, but the point is, we know what these look like. Now, in recent years, the length Atlus goes to shake up their existing games is pretty drastic. Probably the title that explains it the best is Persona 4 Golden. The original Persona 4 was released in 2008 on the PlayStation 2, and 4 years later, Atlus released Persona 4 Golden, an exclusive to the PlayStation Vita. Now, on top of being a port, Golden had drastic changes and additions to the original, adding new characters, new dungeons, and altering some core fundamentals of the original experience. Now, I have played and beaten both of these versions, and I can tell you what they add isn't merely some DLC level of content. It's not slapped on somewhere in the game, it's stuff you experience throughout the whole journey. It's like uprooting half of a house, you're gonna notice it. Atlus is just a big fan of basically remaking their own games with hefty changes. And when Persona 5 The Royle comes out, it'll be 3 years since Persona 5's launch. I know, time is terrifying and beyond our control, what a hoot. But to reiterate, Persona 5 The Royle is not a DLC. It is a full-price re-release that's reimagining Persona 5. So this brings up the big scary question for people who can't make up their minds. With the quote-unquote enhanced version coming, if you haven't played Persona 5 yet, should you just wait for The Royle? And to that I say, no. If Persona 5 looks interesting to you, play it now. You can get it for dirt cheap and you'll see why so many people are into it. What can I say? The game's pretty dang good. Now you should know that Persona 5 The Royle does not require you to have played the original P5 to get into it. If anything, P5R will be the most accessible the series has ever been for newcomers. But here's the catch. Just because it's the enhanced version doesn't guarantee that it's the best version. Personally, I enjoy the original Persona 4 over Persona 4 Golden. Not because I think Golden's content sucks or anything, but I enjoy the more streamlined experience that the original offers. You see, Persona 5 is a big game. A huge game, really. And one of the biggest gripes is that because it is so big, some of the chapters feel bloated and some story segments are hella messy. It's an otherwise great game, but now Atlus wants to add even more, and while they may fix problems along the way, extra content could also create problems, adding to that bloated feeling. Not to mention what they do add could be kinda mess, To be honest, it's not that much of a deal breaker because woohoo, more Persona 5, but it could really grind on some people's gears. So I want people to know Atlus is not punishing you for playing the lesser, older version. The original Persona 5 experience is very good on its own. Persona 5 The Royle is not guaranteed to be better than the original. It is guaranteed to be different. So take that as you will and make an informed decision, ya babies. Also, I'm shutting this down before it spreads like a wildfire. Shout out to the mouth breathers that thought the existence of P5R in any way, shape, or form indicated that the original Persona 5 was unfinished. Y'all are stupid, and you should feel bad, because you keep using that word, but I don't think you really know what it means. No one who has actually beaten Persona 5 will say it feels unfinished, and if they do, they need to stop sniffing paint! Long story short, I am certain that the content in Persona 5 The Royle will be able to justify the game being re-released, mainly because Atlus does not trim the fat. Now, I'm personally very excited for The Royle, because nothing beats being in that Persona routine. The games are normally so long it becomes like a phase in your life, and having more stuff to dive into while seeing the differences is gonna be a real treat. The new female character looks like she might be a Marie 2.0, but who knows? She looks cool, and I'm down, kiddos. Now, y'all know me. I don't speculate too much about plot. I'll leave that to people with more free time on their hands. But just know that I am happy to have an excuse to make more Persona videos, if you know what I mean. But yeah, most people are pretty jazzed to experience Persona 5 with a lemon twist. But now let's get to the ugly duck of the bunch. Persona 5 Scramble, the Phantom Strikers. So Persona 5S is a PlayStation 4 and Switch spin-off title where it's Persona meets Dynasty Warriors. You know, the types of games where you blender whip pools of dudes for about 3 hours and then you win. Now, the trailers really didn't tell us that much besides that, and also this chick is a thing, don't know what her deal is, but yeah, hack and slash Persona, here we go. Now, personally, I'm kind of fine with this game being a thing, not because I secretly love this genre, but because Persona always makes spin-offs like these. Persona 4 got the fighting game treatment out of the blue back in the day, and those were pretty dang good considering, not to mention the dancing game spin-offs, so I'm not like disappointed or upset at Scramble just because it's Persona 5 meets Dynasty Warriors. After Atlus makes their big song and dance JRPG, they just throw the IP at any dev team that wants to work with it, even if the genre is painfully generic. These things are harmless, really. The stories normally suck, but the gameplay is good, and they are made dirt cheap by someone else while Atlus works on their next big titles like Persona 6 and SMT5. Speaking of which, can we get some more SMT5 news? Atlus, what is up with that? It's been like over a year, please. I'm so thirsty. Is it canceled? What's up? But the reason why so many people or old gamers rise up when it comes to Scramble is because of those pesky expectations crumbling before everybody's eyes. My god, y'all gotta get those checked out. So for months, there were rumors that Persona 5S was a Persona 5 Switch port, and you really can't blame people. They teased the title P5S for months, sure seems suspicious to me. But with insiders whispering about it, to Best Buy leaking a listing for P5S as a Switch game, and with Joker being a part of Smash, the signs were there. But these were always rumors. They were never officially confirmed, and we have never been promised a P5 Switch port, so when Atlus strolls on in to announce another spin-off just like they've always done in the past, they were met with boos, broken hearts, and people thinking an unconfirmed rumor was totally gonna happen. So it's just a bad case of everyone getting ahead of themselves. Heck, even I thought a Switch port was probably gonna happen, but I'm an adult that understands that my expectations aren't always reality, and lashing out at a company because I took a rumor as fact is kind of my issue. What can I say, y'all? The pitchfork life just isn't my scene anymore. I'm tired of being angry all the time. It gets exhausting after a while. But now the big question is, will Persona 5 ever get ported to the Switch? And real talk, I don't know, but there's a ton of good reasons why it could be. The first being that Persona 5 was not just a PS4 title, it was also released on the PlayStation 3 at launch, and we know that PS3 games can be ported to the Switch successfully. Another factor is Atlus obviously has a good relationship with Nintendo. They've made tons of exclusives for them on top of the Joker DLC and Scramble, so we're all clear for landing on that end. But the one thing possibly holding a Switch port back is Sony. Atlus is not a first-party developer for Sony, but Persona mainline titles have been exclusive to PlayStation platforms for years. Now, I am not sure if they have a licensing deal or the fact that Atlus is still adjusting to being kind of popular and they don't want to step on too many toes, but if there is anything holding a Switch port back, it's probably some corporate red tape we don't know about. Or they just aren't ready to announce a Switch port yet, who knows? Now, in a perfect world, I would love for Atlus to port/remaster all of the mainline Persona games to the Switch, and PC if God is feeling really generous. But the Switch is a great console, and this would be a good way to deal with some of the title's accessibility problems since the hardware they are exclusive to is borderline going retro. Honestly, I would take remasters of so many of Atlus's games, not just Persona. P5 really has seduced a lot of new people into the series, and giving folks a chance to experience all of Atlus's sleeper hits would be wonderful. But again, in a perfect world, if it never happens, I can sleep soundly at night, it's all good. But let me dream, damn it. But you know, Atlus really is still adjusting to being a semi-popular developer. To put this into perspective, Persona 5 is the most popular game that they have ever made, respectively selling close to 3 million units, which is pretty good for a JRPG, but most mainstream games have to sell around 6 to 10 million units to be considered a success. Atlus has just not had a lot of time in the limelight compared to other companies. They are still fresh out of that niche box, but with a rapidly growing fan base with an endless amount of demands and expectations, I really cannot blame them for defaulting to their normal business plan. But I am hoping one day that they can capitalize on the amazing library of games that they're just sitting on right now, but only time will tell, I guess. Anyway, that was kind of a mouthful of a lot of crap, but that wraps up all of my yells regarding this Persona news dump. Now, chances are I won't really be talking about this again until the game's actual release, but don't worry, guys, I'll be keeping up with the news. I got my eyes on stuff. But if you have anything you want to share, feelings, hopes, concerns, baseless complaints that make my eyes glaze over, please give your thoughts down below. So thank you all for watching, don't forget to enjoy yourselves, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Welcome to the credits. This is the credits of the video, and we're at the end of the freaking video. Hello, everybody. Yes. Alrighty, this is normally where I just start self-promoting like crazy. So yeah, follow me on Twitch. I have a Twitch, links down below if you want to see gameplay and me just enjoying something, talking to chat, doing my thing, dying a lot. You know, I'm very bad at what I do. On top of that, I have a Twitter that I'm incredibly active on. If you have questions, concerns, want to have updates on any videos, please follow me on Twitter. I have other social medias, Tumblr, Instagram, the whole shebang. Click a link down below, please. I'm begging you. Persona's cool. Big fan. That's it. That's all I really have at the end of these credits. All right. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.